Hi, I'm Evan Pantazi. I wanted to welcome you back to another Kyusho installment. Today we're going to talk about skepticism because there are a lot of skeptical martial artists out there in regard to Kyusho, and I get it. I understand where you're coming from with the pressure points and the TCM and the models and the crazy stuff you see on YouTube all the time. Some people even think my stuff is crazy, but I can quite assure you that it's been backed up by medical research and doctors verifying what's going on with the human anatomy in the body and the physiology. You could even look it up in books and online as to what the ramifications of, say, striking a certain nerve or a certain blood vessel would be. So, skepticism is good, and everybody should use a little bit of it. But what it does is it restricts creativity too. Some people get so mired in skepticism that they don't even look beyond their nose. And to instantly critique or condemn an idea or a method that they have not yet even experimented or tried, that's folly. That's just breeding a generation of people that do not want to research, and they all call themselves skeptics as opposed to just locked in a box. And what we do with Kyusho is we experiment all the time. So I urge you get out to a course, or find a qualified instructor. Now, yeah, we got charlatans in the arts, as I mentioned just a little bit earlier. Every art has them, and there are some people that practice well, some people that practice don't. And I can get also that you watch a couple YouTube techniques, and people are doing knockouts or this and that, and it looks crazy. It looks easy. It looks easy because sometimes people do practice a lot until it does get easy. There are also things that you want to consider is in the regard of doing the technique for your art. If it's not in your art, a particular method that's shown, sometimes people just instantly put it off. But to, again, comment on it without study, without research, without getting your hands on another person and utilizing it is just a little bit stifling. These skeptical people also don't create, okay? You need to go out and you need to create with your martial art. That's the way the old masters did it. They got together, they shared, they trained together. They shared a common theme is the martial arts, and that's it. And again, if you stay mired in this traditional, this is a block and that's all it can be, well, you're not going to grow, and neither are you going to your students. Now, here's something that you may also want to consider. Also, we're already teaching second, third generations of Kyusho practitioners. We have children. I just was at a seminar. We had a 15-year-old was the youngest at that seminar. But his journey has already started. His mother's a nurse. His stepfather is a cardiologist. And they were both present to watch the child take the lesson and see what we were doing, make sure probably he didn't get hurt or picked on. And we did use him, didn't hurt him or anything like that, and didn't really even go through the points as well. Don't like to beat up on kids like some of these people on YouTube do. But I had a long discussion with both the parents afterwards, and they were saying, well, everything you're saying is right on. We had an emergency room nurse there as well, all nodding their heads as I was talking about hitting the different nerve structures, vascular tissues, the ramifications, what it could do to the body, how to access them. So this is the real Kyusho. It's not the pressure point crap you hear all over the place. And yes, I was involved in the pressure point studies. I ascribed to it. You look back at my old videos. I'm talking about pressure points. I'm talking about the TCM, but I grew out of it. I researched. I took it seriously enough to go to the doctors, to go to the scientists, to get hands-on training. I'm fortunate. I get to travel around the world many times a year and see thousands of people and touch thousands of people to get the true read on what will work and what will not work. But again, if you're not researching it and you're skeptical, that's fine. But to cure that skepticism or to get past that skepticism, you need to really go and try it. Okay? And again, not on your own. We had a bunch of guys from Denmark, what idiots. And I hate to say that, but they were. They picked up on one target and they decided to use it, and their applications were just hard. They had no clue what they're doing, and of course it didn't work for them. So of course they called it bullshito, and they called it a lot of other things that I'm not going to say right here and now. They were skeptical, and they kept that mindset into their testing. They didn't seek out qualified instruction, but they decided to bash it all over the internet. And that's what we have to deal with these days. I get a ton of comments. Sometimes it's funny because sometimes they come through and sometimes YouTube screens them out because they already know that the person is a scammer or a troll or something of that nature. And I go in, I see these comments, and sometimes I let them post. Sometimes I don't, and it's absolutely crazy. So again, don't let your skepticism get in the way. Yeah, be skeptical. Come on out though and investigate it, okay? And investigate someone that is doing the research, not someone that's claiming false paradigms like the pressure points and the TCM. All right, and again, we welcome you, and come on down and we'll help you with it. And if you're skeptical, yeah, just tell us and we'll work with you on it. So again, don't put yourself in a box, folks. Learn the Kyusho. These kids are, and they're going to be the next generation, and they're going to look back at you and your non-growth or your traditional this is this and that's it method, and they're not going to accept it anymore. All right. So you got to roll with the newer generation, because that's what's coming up. And these kids are information hungry. They're internet savvy, and they're going to blow the doors off any old instructors if the instructors really just don't get on the page and start figuring it out. And one more thing I do want to say is it's funny now that we're breaking it so open into the public that even the old Okinawan masters and Japanese masters are starting to show more and more Kyusho. Some of them, they look like they're beginners. Others, they're just showing simple things on the internet, and that's fine. We don't show our curriculum on the internet. We show a bunch of stuff, and but we don't show how we train. We always train in motion and as realistic as possible. But why would we show that to you if you're not part of the organization? So again, the skepticism, put it aside, or at least figure out if it's warranted or not. All right, thanks for listening. Hey, please subscribe. Give it a thumbs up if you liked what I had to say. Take care.